Hey guys, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk with another episode of You Need That Rekkid. So notice in the background I've got the 12 cube setup instead of the 8 cube setup now, so I have more room for records. I'm probably not going to go beyond 12 cubes, so once I fill that up, there'll be some purging. But the record we're going to talk about today is Amanaz, which is a Zambian group from the Zamrock movement of the mid-70s. This 1975 album called Africa, recent reissue on NowAgain Records, and you can read along with me, issued in 1975, along Ricky Ililonga, Zambia, and which is Lazy Bones. This is the articulation of Zambia's Zamrock ethos, came from the mines. Musicians were anti-colonial freedom fighters, and it rocks hard. And so this actually comes with 2 discs. And basically it's the same album mixed 2 different ways. So I'm showing you the reverb mix, which is the mix I preferred, even though the vocals and the drums and stuff are a bit lower. There's the normal mix, which is a bit drier, with that stuff more in the forefront. And so there's a lot of really fuzzy guitar. Even though this was recorded in the mid-70s, a lot of the Zamrock is going to be pretty, it's going to remind you of garage rock, it's going to remind you of psych, it's going to sound more from an American standpoint like stuff from the mid to late 60s. But there's also sort of, you can tell there's a funk influence. So you know that, okay, these guys had Jimi Hendrix records, they had James Brown records, maybe they had Stooges, maybe they had Velvet Underground, maybe they had Black Sabbath. Who knows what these guys got their hands on or what they came up with on their own. Of course, there's some mixing of their own local musical traditions. Some of the songs, most of the songs are in English, but some of them aren't. Seeing people describe this as sort of a love child of Jimi Hendrix and James Brown. Describe it a bit differently with one of the songs later on. Starts off with the instrumental called Amanaz, so the name of the band. Then a little bit less frantic than that, we've got the song I Am Very Far. Sunday Morning is going to be a bit Velvet Underground soundy. The song Kala My Friend, which is apparently on this Ted Lasso TV show that's out now. It's a more introspective, but it's talking about sort of the bleak political and social situation in Zambia. There was a bit of a boom, but it was going bust. There was a lot of corruption going on in that nation. My favorite song on this record, and probably my favorite Zamrock song that I've ever heard, and I think this is really just one of my literally most favorite songs since I heard it. It's called History of Man. So you got Keith Cabway, the lead singer. I've described this song as it sounds like Peter Tosh if he was fronting a Black Sabbath cover band. And by Black Sabbath, I mean like really early, earthy, sludgy Black Sabbath. And again, a lot of this record, it's pretty lo-fi, it's pretty basic. Obviously, these guys, they had pretty basic equipment. I don't think they had fancy recording studios. I don't think they spent a lot of time in the studio. But there's a lot of fuzz and wah-wah. Isaac Mopofu and John Kanyepa on guitar. I'm pretending like I know how to pronounce everything. The drums are sort of this hitting a wood block song by Watson Longu that's just so cool on his, as Keith Cabway sings, the history of demand, in the Zambian accent, which sounds vaguely West Indian to me. That may not really be accurate. And the last song on the first side, Unsuka Lawendo, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, which is one of the non-English songs. There's a very psyche guitar solo that bursts through about halfway in. Second side, you've got the lead-off song called Africa. Again, it's got that kind of a muddy and noodly guitar and bass line to it. The song Green Apple starts really lo-fi, even compared to the rest of the album. You got that wooden block percussion sound again, like History of the Man. Then the guitar rips in. This song sounds a little bit Santana-ish to me. Making the Scene sounds most like History of the Man. It's almost proto-punky in a state. I've seen people describe this band as both behind and ahead of the times. Comes out in 1975. It sounds like mid to late 60s in terms of what American bands are sounding like, but some of it is almost sounding a bit punky. Easy Street, Big Enough, the final song, Kale, you've got some pretty heavy, funky bass. The guitar is pretty scaled back and low in the mix on that particular song. So if you want to delve into some Zamrock, I know there's a 2-volume Zamrock compilation. I think there's a couple Amanaz songs on there, and I think Call My Friend and History of Man are on the Zamrock compilation, or you can get this album. Is it? No, it's not a gatefold. There's what the back of the album looks like, and so it comes highly recommended by me if you can find it. It seems to go in and out of print. Originals of this are basically unobtainium. You can pay hundreds of dollars for something in terrible condition. So that's my record that I think you would like, you need. Amanaz with the album Africa, 1975, Zamrock for you.